Obviously, things are not good at the moment, and the main reason I wanted to speak to Raj, because obviously Raj is from sort of what I would say is like the old school in terms of the, he's been around the block. There's not much he hasn't seen in his supporting days, much like you, Danny. Sort of we're a bit older than some, and I wanted to kind of take it back and just look at the overall situation we're in. Really, I don't usually make notes. I have to stress, and anyone that's listened to me podcast will probably be fully aware that I don't make notes. But on this one, I wanted to, because I just wanted to kind of bullet point a few things that have me irked. And I am pretty angry at the moment. I am pretty upset. And I know that there's the memes about the whole, a lot of people know my love for French football, of course. And it's like, oh, you don't even watch games anymore. I genuinely don't. And because I can't bring myself to watch what we're producing at the moment. Do I sort of have games on in the background? Yes. Do I pay attention? Yes. Do I go back and re-watch them afterwards? Often, yes. But just live games at the moment, if there's something better to do, I tend to do that. And I tend to watch football that I enjoy. And that sort of brings me to where I've noted these things together. I'm going to just read this list to you. And it's kind of bullet pointed. It is a little bit lengthy, but I'll try and chop some bits off. And then we'll just kind of have maybe pick apart a few bits of it. So my main sort of first point that launches me into this is the FA Cup masked the inept league form, and we all fell for it. And that's quite a big statement to say. But if you go back to the end of last season, Arteta's first game, I believe, was Boxing Day against Bournemouth last season. We drew 1-1. We then went on to lose to Chelsea. Rather unfortunate, it has to be said. We beat Manchester United. We then went on a run of draws against Crystal Palace, Sheffield United, Chelsea and Burnley. We beat Newcastle at home, a Newcastle side that had very little to play for. We beat an Everton side at home, just. And if you remember, it really was just. We limped past West Ham at home 1-0. Where have we heard that before? We got absolutely taken to pieces by Manchester City when everything all went a bit wonky. We lost away to Brighton. That was Guendouzi Gate, of course. We beat Southampton away 2-0. Again, a Southampton side that were not in the best form. Similarly, beating Norwich at home. And then we went away and beat Wolves side, whose season had finished. We drew at home to Leicester. Of course, we lost to Spurs, standard. We did beat Liverpool, which again, I think gave everybody that jolt of confidence. We then went to Villa Park and lost to Aston Villa and were inept. And we beat Watford on the final day. So in overall, you look at those results and you think to yourself, okay, not too bad. All right, transition, we've got the summer. So many things are going to change at the club. So where did we change? So the summer transfer business, I've written here, it's questionable. We sold our best goalkeeper. We froze out two of our better upcoming players in Guendouzi and Saliba. Whether you think that was right in Guendouzi's case or not, everything the manager said suggested otherwise. Completely destroyed William Saliba's confidence and any faith we had in him, because we didn't even give the lad a chance to play. Full stop. He was named on the bench for the Community Shield and just didn't get game time. We had the summer of Edu promoting Arteta with almost zero CV to back it up. And again, that might sound harsh, but in the nicest possible way, Wigan won the FA Cup. They got through a couple of easy draws. They beat Manchester City with a massive performance in the final. When I say anyone can win an FA Cup, you know what I mean by that. So largely a small CV, but what do? We go and promote him straight away. We won that FA Cup with largely defensive tactics. Whether you like it or you don't, it's facts. We parked the bus, we held possession, we got a little bit of luck, we took our chances, we won against Manchester City and Liverpool, was it? I think it was. That's just facts, just the way it is. Since then, we had, funnily, since things have gone off the rail this season, zero communication from the owners since the summer. It's funny how this has occurred since the club's form has gone downhill, isn't it? It's funny how they've all suddenly gone very quiet. No appointment to the board, no new staff added. So we had all this talk about the shake-up in the boardroom, about the changes, about new staff, new fresh ideas. Nothing's happened. That's all just gone off the plate. I don't know what's happened with the scouting team. Seems to have gone. On that line, all of Arteta's staff, they're all yes men. One guy is, I've been a little bit harsh here, but I've written, he's so young, it's embarrassing for a club of our size and stature. I'm sure the guy is a lovely guy. I'm sure he's got lots of ideas, but there's no way a guy should be going into a high profile role in the coaching staff without any CV at all. I think he was found, I think he went and watched a few Manchester City training sessions. Great. Well done to you, but we're not an education facility. Lack of management skills from the manager. It's a dictatorship. It's micromanaged beyond belief. Again, it might sound harsh, but look at what we've got in front of us. Look at the facts. Players are clearly not responding on the pitch, whether this is due to the not understanding the instructions or the inability to take them on board. Either way, change something. Nothing's being changed. It's the same old players. It's the same old tactics. It's the same old styles. We're getting mixed signals from Arteta. More than happy to throw players like Pepe under the bus, but he's quite happy to defend Xhaka and Willian regardless of their performances. Continues to not show faith in the young players despite claiming that it's a fantastic group to develop. I mean, we're not seeing it unless it's in a game where, you know, no offence to our Europa League group, but us three probably could have got through that on our own. Making statements like he'll destroy people who leak stories. For me, that's just plain stupid. If you leave out players but you keep them at the club, what did you think was going to happen? So in other words, you know, Ozil and Socrates being two. So you made it clear they had no interest in keeping them. You knew they were big personalities, but you kept them around at the club. Makes no sense. Internal discipline is gone. If you look at the dressing room, Ceballos and Ketia's little spat at Fulham, Ceballos and Luis apparently having a training ground incident. The stories about Luis and Arteta not getting on, Ozil and Arteta not getting on, Saliba on Instagram, Pepe on Instagram, Socrates, the list just goes on and on. Unai Emery was hounded out of the club for difficulties due to communication. Well, what's changed under Arteta? If anything, I think it's got worse. Sure, he talks a good game, but what has actually changed? Nothing. Players have regressed under Arteta, something that I think people have really missed. Xhaka was never good enough in the first place, but he's gone back to his old ways. Bellerin had a good start to the season, has gone backwards. Tierney, I think, is a fantastic player, but he's regressing. You can see it in his performances. Ozil, no, don't even need to mention it. Lacazette looks tired, looks fatigued, looks out of shape, looks out of form, is being forced to play a role that doesn't suit him. Pepe can hardly get in the team. Our captain looks like a budget, I don't know what, just completely out of sorts. Leno can't even catch a football anymore. I don't know what's happened to the coaching or the development. So much regression. Don't worry, I'm nearly done. The final three, no long-term plan. Despite all the clever sound bites and all this talk of the academy, there's no faith being shown in any of it. Instead, we just keep faith with players that simply aren't good enough. A long-term plan should revolve around a clear structure and a footballing philosophy and style. We have neither. Lineups, same old tactics, same old system, same old results. Nothing's tried or changed. Nothing has changed in-game. Substitutions are poor. Timing of them is poor. And unless it's a very last resort, we don't look to change a thing. And by that, I mean moving Aubameyang into central. And the final thing, you'll all be happy to know, play style. It's dull, it's boring, it lacks any creativity. There's no risk for reward. The pressing that we were so famed and thought was so great, that's completely vanished. We don't play out from the back. There's no speed in any areas of the pitch. So you can all say, oh yeah, we didn't sign a creative player. There's no speed in any of this team. There's no direct play in any of this team. Even players like Bukayo Saka, who's based around that style of play, is being throttled into not playing the way he wants to play. So good luck, Gabriel Martinelli, when you come back in. And all the players are strangled and they're forced to stick to rigid game plans. This says to me, very Pep Guardiola. And that's where I'll draw my notes to a close.